When he's on the ball, he's fucking magical. Martin Odegaard. Oi, oi, oi.
Wonderful play from Arsenal. Arsene Wenger's philosophy put into practice, and not even Barcelona can come up with an answer.
Welcome to another episode of the Clockenders podcast. I'm your host, Reginald Dino, just coming off a 3-0 win. Nottingham Forest? Who do we play? Nottingham Forest? Nottingham Forest today at the Emirates. Comprehensive win. No real issues. Usual suspects. Well, maybe not the usual suspects. We'll get into that when we get into the players' ratings. Thank God that's the last international break of the year. I mean, honestly, it's been 1 month, extra games for our key players, injuries. It just seems like we always get injured during international breaks. We had a little scare with Trossard this past international week, limped off, didn't know if he was going to be available to play. I guess gutted it out today. I mean, honestly, though, enough with the international breaks. If you're going to have an international break, you got to space it out a little bit more than one a month. You're giving players that play on good teams an extra 2 games every season. Again, I keep harping on this, but guys like Saliba have played more games than anybody on Nottingham Forest. It's going to take its toll. Great win. These are the games we have to win. I mean, you can't win 10 in a row if you don't win the first one. So, I mean, a great win. And people are going to say, oh, it's only Nottingham Forest. Well, yeah, I get it. But it was only Southampton. It was only this team. It was only that team. And we still probably didn't pick up points, right? So it's only Newcastle. It's only Bournemouth. And you see what happens, right? So we'll get into the player ratings. I've had some people come at me and say, oh, you didn't talk about Edu. You didn't talk about this. I mean, what can you say? It's a person that gets a better opportunity at another place and goes for it. Whether it's more money, more responsibility, if that's the point in his career that he is in, that he needs more to feel successful, or he needs more to feel like he's doing something at the club, then yeah, take that position. I mean, I think there's all types of rumors going around that he wanted a CEO position at Arsenal and they weren't willing to offer it. And Nottingham Forest came and said, oh yeah, you know what, we can give you this, we can give you that. And he said, you know what, in my career trajectory, that's what I want to do. You take that position. So maybe later down the road, if a CEO position does come up at Arsenal, maybe he comes back. But I know he's a former player and everybody looks at that and says, oh, you can't leave our club. What are you doing? You're traded. I don't think so. It's like any other job. Your job that you have right now. If someone comes in and from another company and offers you more money, more responsibility, something that's in line with your career plans and future, you're going to take that position. So I don't know why it would be different from anybody else, for whether you're not former Arsenal player or not. But good luck to Edu. I mean, good players are good players. I don't know what goes into negotiating player contracts and trying to get players, but I think it's more of the play that's on the field that attracts players than, it's Edu coming to talk to me. I'm gonna take that. I think it's the club. It's Arsenal. Arsenal is after me. It could be me, it could be you, it could be Edu, it could be anybody. But as soon as they say Arsenal is interested and I work for Arsenal and I'm coming in to talk to you about something, I think that's the lure. And I don't think it's the person itself. Because it's just like the NBA. These younger players, they don't know who's who. I mean, you're talking to a 20-year-old player or a 19-year-old player. Are they going to remember Edu? I doubt it. Just like the NBA. Are they going to remember anybody before they were born? I doubt it, because you have guys saying LeBron James is the GOAT. We'll leave it at that. So that's my feelings on Edu leaving. I mean, it sucks when anybody leaves your club, but it doesn't bother me. Go do your thing. Well, Arsenal won't stop. There's no one player that's big. There's no one person that's bigger than the club of Arsenal. So congratulations. Just seems like everything's going right for Arsenal. The women's team is playing well. They fired the coach and they're on a win streak. They just beat Juventus twice in Champions League to progress. And by the way, the women's Champions League is still the old format. Why wouldn't they switch to the new format that the men are playing with? I just thought that was interesting. I think this is more of an experiment. The new format is more of an experiment, maybe. I don't know, but it should be the same for everybody, the men and the women. So hopefully we can see a change in that next season. Still calling out for a striker. Kai Havertz didn't play today. I don't know if he's injured or whatnot. I missed the beginning of the game, a little bit of the beginning of the game, so I'm not sure if he's injured. But I've changed my tune. Like if you've been paying attention to the last couple of shows that I've done, I've switched my tune. We do need a striker. That kid from Sporting is just, I mean, he's just banging in goals for fun. And then you look and you see who he's playing against, and it's just like, yeah, but Gabriel Jesus can do that. Can he? I mean, goal scorers are goal scorers. I don't know if he's going to get 40 goals in the EPL, but even if he's able to get 19, 20, that's a great striker in the EPL. A buddy of mine was talking to me about, forgive me if I get this wrong, but Harry Kane is what the hell was it? Harry Kane is the fastest player to 50 goals in the Bundesliga ever. And then I looked at him and I said, how many PKs? And he just looked at me and laughed. So a comprehensive bounce back win for the Arsenal. 3-0 at the Emirates. Never in doubt, even from the one goal. We had one goal for a little bit of the time before the substitutions were made, and it never looked like they were in the game. But you still don't want to get that, have a one goal advantage and then somebody takes a shot from 40 yards and deflects 3 times and goes in the net. Those are the types of ways that Arsenal loses this past couple of those are the ways that Arsenal loses or draws. And when you have so many opportunities to score, you have to put them in. And today they did it. So let's bounce into the player ratings right now. David Raya, another clean sheet. Not much to do. This is going to be very quick, guys. Very quick until we get to certain players. But David Raya, not much to do. Another clean sheet. It's 8 for me. Finally, saw the return of this guy. Industrious, hard work. Was really, the commentators even said it, was really only probably going to play 60 minutes coming off the injury. Did well. I give him a 7. Gabriel Magalhaes, what can you say? Played the full 90. Coming off of 2 games for Brazil, full 90 there as well. Did he have anything to do? Not really. When you play a style that Arsenal plays where possession is key, your defenders are probably called upon 2-3 times in a game. As long as you can get those 2-3 times instances right. I mean, what else can you say with the defenders? So an 8 for Gabriel. William Saliba, an 8. Customary 8. This guy, I mean, we got a player, guys. We have a player in Jurrien Timber. He could be a midfielder. And I know this new form of football where everybody wants to play inverted, or you put a player like Thomas Partey or a guy like Timber or Zinchenko who highly skilled and put them in the back and so they can play out or join the midfield even and not be a quote unquote starting midfielder. And you're putting him and he's coming from the back, very skillful. I mean, great game from Jurrien Timber today. Great game. And that's about 2 or 3 in a row for him. So he's getting an 8 today. Didn't talk about Ben White. Like, what a blow for Ben White. And to hear that he was playing, I'll even put him up, actually. And to hear that he was playing hurt on a bad knee, Had knee surgery. I guess in this past international break, is going to be out for a couple of months. I mean, the dedication, the heart, the will, the drive of certain players on this team. That's what Mikel Arteta has brought to this club. And we wish nothing but the best, speedy recovery for Ben White, because we need you in the push to win the league or even Champions League. So speedy recovery, my guy. I told you he's going to come good. I told you he's going to come good. Excellent game from Moreno today. I mean, you're going to look and say, oh, he gave away the ball here, he gave away winning duels, which is what he was brought in for, keeping the ball ticking, right place, right time all the time. I mean, what can you say? 8 for him today. Jorginho, rare start for Jorginho. I mean, I don't know why Mikel Arteta doesn't use him more. Well, I do know why he doesn't use him more, because the midfield stacked with Partey and now even Nwari that's coming in. I mean, what a player, 17 years old, incredible. But we'll get to him when we talk about the substitutions. For me, played well. Jorginho is a guy. As a footballer and defender, I watch players when we don't have the ball. I watch players what happens when we do have the ball. But I'm more watching the players when we don't have when the team doesn't have the ball, and what positions they get themselves in and where they are and what runs they're making and what instructions they're giving. And this guy is he's a general. He's a general. What can you say? 8 for Jorginho today as well. I mean, this guy's the man of the match for me. This guy's the man of the match. And you can see what we've been missing for so long. Well, for the time he was injured. What a player. What a player. I mean, gave the ball away a couple of times. It's going to be expected. You're not in game. I'm not going to say game shape, but I mean, you can't replicate game scenarios in training. So guys aren't going to come in at you full speed, full blast. So you do have an extra step, maybe an extra couple of seconds to make a decision when you're playing against teams that are, when you're playing in an EPL game and teams don't give a shit that you were injured. Yeah, you're going to have less time. So I give this guy one or two more games, and he's back to the Odegaard that we saw last year, or even the beginning of the season before he got injured. This guy 9 today. Excellent. Trossard. I mean, the front line wasn't too noticeable today. I mean, Trossard do anything wrong? Not really. Did he do anything spectacular? Not really. I think if Martinelli was healthy, he would have started. Some guys are just suited off the bench. And I'm not saying leave him on the bench. I'm not saying that at all, but just some guys have, super sub credentials that they need to, embrace. I know everybody wants to start. But there's a basketball, motto, or not a motto, but a basketball belief that it doesn't matter who starts, it matters who finishes. And it matters what you can produce when you're on the field. Doesn't matter what time you come in. I know everybody wants to play 90. I know that. But you got to embrace your role. If you're an amazing player coming off the bench, you might have to embrace that. At this age, he's 29 years old, pushing 30. At this age, you have to embrace that. I mean, this is the type of game that, you should strive in. You should thrive in this type of game. The competition might be not as intense as playing a City or a Liverpool or whoever. Playing Nottingham Forest on the wing there, you should be running guys down and creating chances and opportunities. And I didn't really see that today from him today. So he gets a 6 today. This guy, I mean, you would think, okay, here's your start. Here's your chance. Show me. I didn't get much from him today. I didn't see much from him today. So I'm not sure what's going on with Jesus, if he's injured, if he's just, Mikel Arteta doesn't trust him, or he's just lacking confidence. I don't know what it is, but today, not very good. So he gets a 6 as well. Bukayo Saka, what can you say? The goal. I mean, it's between the last couple of weeks. It's been between him and Thomas Partey for man of the match. Gave the ball away a couple of times on the wing. Expected, coming off what I believe is an injury. Didn't go with England this past international break. I think he was nursing an injury there. But to come back and put in a performance like that, I mean, what can you say from your star boy or your star man? He gets an 8 today. So we'll move into the substitutions. This guy finally came on. I mean, what did you get him for if you're not going to play him? Set up Wanyari for his goal. I mean, that's what you need. That's what you need your wingers to do. Attack the defenders. Attack them. Put them in a position where they have to make a decision. And that's what he did today. Defender made the wrong decision. We got a goal out of it. He gets for the little time that he was on the field, I'll give him a 7. Probably should be higher, but I'll give him a 7. Well, what can you say? Banger. A banger from Accra. Literally, probably his third touch. Banger. And again, like I said, it's between him and Saka the last couple of weeks for man of the match. I mean, you would start the game and you would think, okay, no Thomas Partey. You have Moreno, Partey, and Odegaard in your midfield. You don't use it. You use Jorginho. What happened? Thomas Partey didn't go with Ghana on the international break, so he should be fresh. But no Thomas Partey today. Maybe we're looking to get guys rest because we know there's a big run of games coming in. No problem. I get it. Got to start using your squad now. This is the time where you got to start using your squad now. The Christmas period's coming up. Champions League is back. Caribou Cup, FA Cup, we're in every competition. So this is the time where you got to start finding players your rest. If that was the case, I have no problem with that. But came on and scored a banger today. He gets an 8. This guy came in for Saliba, get Saliba a rest because he played 90 minutes in international break as well. And when I'm talking about 90 minutes, I'm not talking about 90 minutes against San Marino. I'm talking 90 minutes against Belgium. I'm talking 90 minutes against France, against Italy. So I mean, it's not a walk in the park. 90 minutes. He's playing. You're concentrating. You're worn out. You have to travel to Italy from France, meet up with your team, travel, leave there, come back to England, start training. It's not a vacation for these guys. And I know they get paid a lot of money to do that, but your body doesn't give a shit about the money. You know what I mean? You're like, your body's your body. It only takes so much. So he came in today. I mean, didn't play enough to make a mistake, so he didn't do really anything bad. I'm sorry, I can't give him anything higher than a 5. Not because he played bad, but he wasn't on enough to give him a rating. Zinchenko came on. I mean, I know why we don't play him at defense. There's a couple of times where he could have blocked a cross to come in that we had, a dangerous moment for the other team, for Nottingham Forest. I mean, you gotta at least try to block a cross. Defending, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can play him at left back. In these type of games, you'll probably get away with it. But again, Liverpool, if we want to talk about Tottenham as a big team, which I don't, but a rivalry, United, not a big team, but a rivalry. If you want to call City a rivalry, you can't play him in those games at that position. You want to put him in the midfield, I got no problem with that. And I know, again, we play inverted and you're going to go into the midfield anywhere, but you're going to go into the midfield anyway, but there's going to be a point in time, at least 3 or 4 times in a full 90-minute game where he's going to be one-on-one with a player, and I don't back Zinchenko to stop him. So he gets a 6 today. Again, it's not because of bad play or anything like that. It's just that he probably wasn't on long enough. He wasn't on long enough for me to give him anything higher than that. And the crown jewel of our Hale End Academy, the crown jewel of what's coming down the pipe, the crown jewel of the Arsenal Football Club, Ethan Nwaneri. What a player, guys. 17 years old. First touch, first take on. The commentator said it best. He made the man look like a statue. quick feet, skillful, gets in the right position, willing runner, willing passer, kind of looking not to step on anyone's toes. So kind of looking to make the pass first before any glory for himself, because he doesn't want to upset the flow or upset any players, which is typical for a younger player that's playing with 25, 26, even 30-year-olds out there. I got to pass this ball to these guys to keep them happy. But that first dribble, my God, fantastic. And his goal, I mean, how many players take a touch or even let it run across their body? How many players do that? This kid hit it with his left. Take a chance. See what happens. And it ends up in the back of the net. This kid gets an 8 today, bordering on a 9. And he was only on for the last, 15 minutes? So now we're looking at it and we're just like, you know what? Smith Rowe, we sold Smith Rowe. While Odegaard was injured, it was just like, my God, we could use Smith Rowe right now. 100% we could. And the way he's playing at Fulham right now, 100% we could have used him. But maybe Mikel Arteta says, we have this 17-year-old that can step in and take Martin Odegaard's spot. We have this 17-year-old that can not replace Odegaard, but step in if anything happens to Odegaard. And we saw that today. He came on for Odegaard. It was fantastic today. 15-minute cameo. He was fantastic. You got to protect this kid at all costs. All costs. Eight and a half. I don't give halves, but I'm giving a half today. This kid's that special. 8.5. Again, bordering on a 9 today, and he was only on the field for 15 minutes. Mikel Arteta. Yeah. Right. Well, 2 substitutes scored today. So, I mean, making the right moves. Playing Jorginho, not overplaying Calafiori and Saliba after the time that they've had in the international break. From injuries as well, not overplaying Saka either. Giving Jesus the opportunity to show me what you got. Playing Nwari again. Leaving Moreno out there to get more minutes under his belt and get more comfortable with this type of play in the EPL. I mean, what did he do wrong today? For me, nothing. Another clean sheet at home. He gets an 8 today. So that's the ratings for the game. Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal, 3-0 win at the Emirates. We move on. I mentioned in the last show, the win run and the win streak. It's got to be something incredible. And like I said in the beginning of the show, you can't win 10 in a row if you don't win the first one. So well done, Arsenal. We'll move on to the next one. So guys, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe. You're already watching it on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up as well. Give me some likes. We're also on Instagram. We are on TikTok as well. You can go get some. You can go watch the clips on some of the clips of the show on TikTok. We're on all the popular podcast platforms: Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player FM. We're on everything. There's no need. iHeartRadio. There's no need for you guys not to be subscribed and listening to the show. We are on all free, popular podcast platforms. So, guys, another great win. We keep it moving, and we'll see you after the next one. Take care. Come on, you Gunners.